If you think your wife or girlfriend stops sleeping with you because she's not attracted to you anymore, or she's stressed out, she's busy, or you just two don't have the same passion you did years ago, then you're completely insane. And that's because women stop sleeping with a man in a relationship for just one reason, and one reason alone. They will tell you to just set the mood, or work on other areas of the relationship first, and then sex just comes naturally. It leads men to grovel for scraps of physical affection like dogs at a king's banquet. And honestly, it's sad. So in this video, I'm going to show you the real reason she stopped sleeping with you. And I'm also going to show you 5 proven and repeatable habits to get her back in bed with you again, consistently and with more passion. And by the way, the 5th habit is something I learned from being a dating coach back in the day, and it's something you would never even think would work. And it's based on, well, you're just gonna have to see it yourself. Let's jump in. It's easy to say, well, you should compliment your wife or girlfriend to get her back in bed. Let her know how good she looks. Validate her. Make her feel good. And that's completely wrong, and here's why. When you compliment a woman so much, it becomes white noise to her. Think of the last time you were fighting with her, and you said, I love you, or you sent her that text just randomly saying, I love you. You might as well add another question mark to that I love you. Because what you're essentially saying is, do you love me? I'm uncertain about this relationship. I need to compliment you, give you so much value, and let you know that I'm here for you. What you're communicating to her on a subconscious level is that she's on this pedestal, and that you're doing things to say, hey, don't leave me. Don't leave me. She knows you're seeking validation with that statement, with that compliment. You want her to say, oh, I love you back. And when you need it from her, it is repulsive. Let me give you a perfect example the other way around. Let's say someone knocked on your door right now. Someone knocked on your door. You open the door. It's some slick guy in a business suit, and he says, hey, I just want to say, oh my God, your yard is beautiful. And look, is that your car? Oh my God, your car is so cool. I love your haircut. That's really awesome. And he keeps on complimenting you and complimenting you. What are you going to think? Okay, dude, like, what do you want? What are you trying to sell me? What do you want from me? That same feeling you would get from that guy at your door, that random stranger, she gets from you. Now, there is a proper way to compliment her, to make her feel validated, but also create this attraction. I'm going to share that with you at the end of this video, okay? The second habit you must start immediately to get her back in bed with you is how you speak to her in conversation. Now I'm going to make a couple of guesses about you. You're hypercritical. You are your own worst critic. You're an overthinker, and you're a perfectionist. Am I pretty close there, right? Now, because you're this hypercritical person, in conversations, there are 2 modes you can enter. You enter into scarcity mode. In conversations with her, you're always thinking of the outcome, and you're always thinking, what does she want? What are her needs? You're living in reaction to her instead of through action and abundance. And abundance is the other mindset. You must cultivate this habit in order to create that arousal with her in that conversation. When you are in an abundance mindset during conversation, sex and arousal is just a natural outpouring of that. I want you to think of 2 figures. One guy in the scarcity mode, all of the energy, all these arrows are coming in on him, and you're seeking something. You don't feel good enough yourself, so you're seeking in order to feel full. Where the abundance man in that mindset, think of all the arrows outpouring himself. All this energy is outflowing. In conversations, you're not asking questions, you're not seeking validation, you're sharing stories, you're humorous, you're free-flowing, you are expressive. You don't care what the other person wants. Imagine this video right now, if I was like, I need you to watch to the end of the video. I need you to like the video. You would feel that from me. But I know what I'm sharing with you works. I know it's energetic, and I love talking to you and helping you out. So hopefully you feel in these conversations, in these videos, that there's an outpouring, there's an abundance mindset that I'm conveying to you through my speech. The biggest gift you can give her in conversation is your masculine presence. Is you not caring what she thinks, is being fully, freely expressive, free as a man, not needing something from her. The fact that you go inside of your head in conversations of thinking of the right words to say to her is why she's losing attraction toward you. If you think in conversation, what does she want? What can I say? What are the right words? What are the right topics to say to get her to like me, to get her to want me? You're already in a losing battle in the scarcity. In that mode, because you're going inside your head, you are disconnecting yourself from her. And that emotional disconnection is what she rejects, not you. This next habit conveys your value to her as a man. When we look at a woman, besides all the things you love about her personally, on the surface, a woman's value is her looks. Let's be honest about that, right? A lot of her sexual value comes from just the way she looks. But for a man, looks are so minuscule in the large picture of things. What she needs to know about your sexual value is the man that you are and your value. Now, the way she finds your value is by poking and prodding at you. Imagine that she's blind and she cannot see you. And she's that blind person just making sure that you exist, that you're there. That's what she's doing with this next thing. And the habit you're going to use is knowing how to pass that test every time she pokes and prods. Let me tell you a perfect example about how women do this with one of my clients in my marriage mastery program. Okay, now he was showing a lot of assertive behaviors, a lot of these habits, and he was showing higher value to his wife. So he assertively said, hey, let's go on a date at this time, at this place. And she agreed. He was like, awesome. And right before the date, she left out a little comment, this little prodding comment. She goes, I just want to let you know, we're not having sex at the end of the night. Now, there are two ways he could respond to this. His old self would have been logical and needy. He would have been like, well, why? I wasn't even thinking about that, but I don't even know why you would say that. I just, yeah, it's fine. We could totally not have sex. I don't care, right? Getting needy, being logical about it. But I taught him how to pass her test and where this actually comes from. You see, that old way would have been the scarcity, but in the abundance mindset, he simply said, wait, you're thinking about having sex with me tonight? Oh, how could you? You know what? I wanted this to be a PG kind of date tonight, where it's a first date, we're starting things fresh again. God, get your mind out of the gutter. And that is a perfect example of how to pass a woman's test from the abundance mindset. She was saying, hey, I'm showing interest in you, but I want to let you know that you just don't fully have me yet. So let me see if I can push you off course, if this confidence that you're showing me is a facade or not. And what he showed by that response was that he was non-needy, that he didn't care, and he actually turned it back on her. It's called flipping the script. And it's a very powerful way to pass a woman's test. But if you don't know how to be super humorous in the moment, the best way to pass a test is to be unreactive. So when she ever tests you or challenges you or criticizes you, just kind of nod and look at her and be unreactive. The only way you could fail a test with a woman to lose attraction is to react, to fall into her frame, to use logic, and to become needy. Now you're absolutely going to be kicking yourself over this fourth mental habit because it is something that you used to do automatically, consistently, but you've lost it over the years. Let me ask you a question. When your wife comes to you with a decision, do you automatically say, this is what I want, this is what's best? Do you lead her? Do you set whole date nights or whole vacations yourself where she does nothing? When you implement this fourth habit, you literally lead her to bed. I'm gonna make a few guesses about your wife or girlfriend. She's confident, she's stubborn, she's independent, right? And those qualities you actually like about her, but they're not natural to who she is. And you become complacent over the years. You've lacked leadership. And leading as a man in a relationship, making decisions for her, it allows her to relax into her feminine natural state. It removes anxiety. And when she relaxes, arousal is a natural outspring from that relaxation. However, over the years, you let her make decisions. And maybe it's her default to do so, but you have to take ownership that your lack of leading in the relationship and becoming lazy and taking her for granted is why you are at where you are at right now with her. This fourth habit is about making decisions, leading, taking that masculine polarity that is inside of you and stepping up. No matter how much it doesn't feel comfortable with her and with you at first, over time what you're going to see is that she'll begin to trust you again, and her trust will allow her to open up to you emotionally and, other ways. Just ask yourself this question. If I was 25% more assertive in this relationship, what would it look like? Go from there. Now, this fifth and final habit, I'm going to share a personal story that happened to me a while ago, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, where this guy who was 5'6", average looking, stole a girl right from under me. Now, this man eventually became my friend. But at first, when I met him, we were at a party together, and I was talking to this girl that I knew in class, and we were hitting it off, and I was taking it slow with her. I was romanticizing this perfect relationship with her. We'd fall in love, have the kids. I did the whole shebang. And then he comes into the party, and he just oozed charisma. You guys have that friend or that person that just is very charismatic. Everyone loves him. When he talks, everyone's looking. That was him. I remember him walking up to me and the girl, and at first I was like, who's this guy, right? He's like, what are you trying to do? He's trying to be funny. And then she starts laughing at his jokes. And every time I would say something, she would look at him. And I felt her slowly start to slip away from my hands. And then they left together from the party. I was defeated, and it tore my reality. I was like, how did this guy who's shorter than me, he doesn't work out as much as I do, I should get this girl. Like, what was it about him that got her? And so instead of having an ego about it or trying to rationalize this, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go up to this guy and I'm gonna ask him, why is he so good with women? What does he think or what he does that makes him so attractive? I wanted to learn. Now, he told me many things in that conversation, but one of the things he told me was called the desire paradox. He told me, Josh, the most optimal state that you can have with a woman to make her want you, to desire you, is to want her, but to not give a damn about what she thinks. Now, I told you earlier from the original compliments in the first habit that the way to do this is called a push-pull statement. Now, this push-pull statement is something you naturally do in the beginning of the relationship and why she's been attracted to you. But over time, you've created a dependence on her and you stopped having to really game or flirt with your wife or girlfriend. And that caused her to lose that spark with you. This flirting method really ramps up her arousal. Let me show you how it works.
Compliment with a joke that releases the tension from that compliment, you're left with something very powerful. So let's just jump right into it now to see an example with Russell Brand.
If you was on telly in my country when I was a teenage boy, it'd mess me up.
In what way?
Yeah, I think you're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you, Russell. It's very kind of you.
It ain't kind. It's just a bit rude. Say you in a show.
And so that is a really, really classic push-pull, right? Compliment there. He sort of baits the compliment, gives her the compliment, and then builds that tension for just a second and then sort of deflates it, going, it's just a bit rude, cracking a joke at himself.
Now, this probably isn't you, but when I tell some guys that they have to use this push-pull method of flirting, they say something like, really, Josh, I have to use some like technique, some trick with my wife or girlfriend to get her to want me? If that is you, if any part of you, even 1%, is thinking that, you're in a losing battle. You should want to flirt with your wife. You should look for ways to create that attraction. As the man, you're leading in the relationship and doing something like the push-pull method where you are giving her compliments but also teasing her. It shows that desire paradox, that you want her but you don't need her, right? Women, if you look at this, you start to really pay attention. When you watch other people flirting or in TVs or movies that do it correctly at least, the guy's always teasing the girl. He's always letting her know that he doesn't need her. And the best way to convey this in conversation is with that push-pull technique. Now, none of this video will work unless she feels emotionally safe with you. If she's mentioned she doesn't feel safe or doesn't trust you, I'd start with this video first, develop these techniques, and then come back to this video and apply the 5 habits. And I guarantee you, your results will skyrocket with her. I'll see you in the next one.